originally this video was going to be me first starting off with a rant about the Ultramarines and how they're not exactly that cool, but I realized there's no point. There's no point in talking about Ultramarines and how annoying they are for a couple minutes. We know how annoying they are. So I just wanted to talk about Chaos models that would be cool to have, because to me, I feel like Chaos models have more potential for like cool and unique stuff that stand out on the tabletop and model-wise and in the lore more than the Space Marines do, especially the Ultramarines, but that goes without saying. As a Night Lords fan, as someone who's read the books, I really like Raptors. And they're just like such a cool idea, animalistic Space Marines who have been altered by the warp and are more like predatory birds that follow their own hierarchy. It's such a cool concept. But one thing that is kind of weird is the fact of the Warp Talons. The Warp Talons are basically Raptors, except without any ranged option, and all of them have lightning claws and are further mutated by the warp. Which I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. On the back of the Raptors box, when you see them painted, whenever you can buy Raptors and there's Warp Talons, they're always painted Night Lords, so obviously that's going to appeal to me. But the weird thing is, there's no Warp Talon leader. Sure, there's Harken Worldclaimer, but as far as I know, he leads Raptors too. So why isn't there any Warp Talon leader? Especially since recently Warp Talon's been doing really well in Chaos armies. But Warp Talon seem kind of limited to me. Like, sure, lightning clawed jump pack guys with wings on their jump pack seems cool, but wouldn't it be cool to have like a further mutated Warp Talon Lord? But instead of just a jump pack, what if he had actual wings growing out of his back? I know apparently there's like a kit or some bits that you can get that existed at one point for Night Lords for Raptors, but I haven't been able to find them. And you know, maybe instead of having just normal lightning claws, maybe have like giant growth, like giant bone claws that crackle with warp fire or something. It's kind of weird you have several options for Raptors, but you don't have one for Warp Talons. Especially with how cool the Warp Talons are. It's kind of odd we don't have a standard Chaos Apothecary. I mean, sure, we have Fabius Bile, who, while a cool character, and he gives a pretty good buffs of +1 to strength and toughness on whatever unit he's currently accompanying. So why not have a Chaos Apothecary? I mean, there's so many cool things, like with the Hellbrute, where it's a giant dreadnought that's been fused into flesh growing all over it. So wouldn't it be really cool if we had a Chaos Apothecary? Like bits of its gear fusing into metal, maybe an arm or something growing out with a surgical tool attached to it instead of a metal arm. Maybe you have like little freaky chaos mutated neophytes who are following him around, who he's teaching how to remove gene seed or something like that. I just feel like that'd be so cool to have as a model. And finally, one of the weirdest ones, I'm surprised they don't have a model for, a possessed Chaos Lord. Now, Chaos Lords have always been really cool, and the way Warhammer 40k possession works, it makes for some pretty cool models and ideas, but one concept has always stuck with me, and that's the Gal Vorbak. The Gal Vorbak are basically Lorgar's concept of the fate of all things if Chaos were to win. A demon and a human, no one in more control, and perfectly balanced into the ultimate killing machine. Well, I guess not ultimate killing machine. Lorgar would be more like the ultimate life form. But Lorgar would also say that the insane armored red maniac who just turned your family into a red mist was always meant to happen because that's the way of life. So I wouldn't trust him. But the idea of a demon and a host like coexisting into this like horrifically mutated form, but making them all the more powerful, would be an absolutely incredible model to have on the tabletop. I mean, have you seen the possessed models? They are just like grotesquely beautiful in how they look. It'd just be so fun at all the possibilities like we done with a possessed Chaos Lord. So those are some Chaos models that I think would be cool to have. Of course, that's my opinion. What do you think? Do you think it'd be cool to have a Chaos Apothecary? Since normal Apothecary models can actually roll a dice at the beginning of, I can't remember which phase it is, but a certain phase, and if they roll it right, they can bring back any model from their unit that isn't a named character, which seems just a bit unfair when you consider Fabius Bile. Sure, a +1 to strength and toughness is good, but it's not reviving a model from the unit that was accompanying him on the roll of a dice. Maybe you have an idea for a Chaos Lord or a Chaos model that'd be cool to have to accompany units. If you do, let me know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy this content. This is Carnage97 Productions. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.